This is a tour for AHE 523 Instructional Design Part 2. So if you viewed my first screencasted tour, you may notice a couple of different things in this one. This is 10 weeks later that I'm recording this from the first term. So during this term, I felt like there were two main arcs of assignments, which is how I'm going to present my projects and learnings for this term. So we'll start with this sample course. This is a huge makeover from the original course outline that I had. This is just kind of a introduction page. I've hidden all the other pages. So in week 1 of this term, we learned about backward design. And so with backward design, I built a module. The first version of the module was a little rusty. It didn't really have all of the correct pieces in all the right places, and so throughout the term, I was able to kind of dig a little bit deeper into the meaning behind backward design. And so this is a finalized module based on backward design. With this assignment, we were supposed to build some content. And so I've also reworked my e-maze. At first it was the objectives weren't very aligned, and so I went back through. I also added some transitional slides to show the learner kind of where they're going from point A to point B. I also added a couple extra reflections and assessment pieces, so it's all aligned, and then this is the format that I used for all of the modules in my sample course. You can see that all of my modules have buttons on the bottom for navigation. So in the second week, we learned about Bloom's taxonomy, and we were supposed to build a course overview with a couple of aligned objectives. And so originally, this is what it looked like. And then the course and module objectives were a little messy as well, just kind of a lot of text, a couple hyperlinks in here, but nothing really, it just seemed a little chaotic for me. So I went back and I fixed it. Here's my course overview now. I've built it into a Google Doc, which is embedded. And so it just has a very simple course overview, kind of highlights the overall course objectives, how to complete the course, the content within the course, the assignments, the rules of engagement that I built this term, and then a hyperlink that brings the user to my active learning page, which I will get to that in a little bit. And so this is a lot cleaner. You'll notice that there aren't any module objectives. I actually decided to build my module objectives into the module pages themselves. So here you can see my module objectives. This page was built for our week where we talked about alignment. And so there wasn't much that I needed to clean up here. I was pretty happy with this module. It's one of my favorite modules that I got to build just because it had a Star Wars component in it, and so I had a lot of fun building this. The content actually takes you to real articles. So I put a lot of time and energy into actually building content into each of my module pages so that this actually is a demonstration of something that I would use in an online technology facilitated learning environment. The assessment this week was really fun. I built a Google form, and so after the learners read through the course material, they should be able to answer these questions based on whatever, and then when they submit it, I can actually see it. So that was neat. So that was module 2, and that was our week 3 learning. In week 5, we designed project-based learning, which was supposed to have staged assignments. So with that, my modules were 5, 6, and 8. And so you can see, again, I've added the module overview, the objectives, a little bit of content, and then the user can go to the multi-module assignment page. This page is used for all assignments in 5, 6, and 8 because they are staged, and so the user has the ability to kind of go back and see what they've done. I have some navigation buttons up here to move people around to whichever module they're in at the time. So that was modules 5, 6, and 8. You can see that I did build overviews, objectives, and some content for each of those modules, 5, 6, and 8. So the next week we designed collaborative learning through projects. So this was my modules 3, 4, and 7. Again, same thing. I was able to build some sample content here, and then users can go to the group assignment page. This is a little more complicated than just the staged assignment page. The layout is similar, however, there's a couple extra components. There's the interactive Google Forms so that each team can have their own page to contact each other. They can input their information through the Google Forms. And so each module has kind of a different piece that they build upon, but overall the ultimate goal is module 7, where they bring everything together for their final group project. So the next arc of assignments that we did for this course was the active learning principles. So let's just go to that page. After we created principles for engagement, creativity, and design, I went through and built an introductory paragraph that lets the user know what they're looking at. I also went through and adjusted the size of the font so that they were consistent throughout the page. So week 4 this term, we built our own principles of engagement with technology. I didn't change anything with this project. I liked it without the narration because I think that the written words within the Prezi are more powerful without me talking over the principles. It also struck me as more of a manifesto, a declaration of something that was more powerfully represented in its published and visual format. During week 7, we built some principles of creativity with technology. So I went through and narrated this project again, and I adjusted a few animations that I found weren't timed correctly. I also added in a resource page on the last slide, something that I saw Kayla do, and I made a note to go back and add to my project for this week. So there's a little bit of narration in there. You can see right here the cranes flying in and out. So that was a fun project for me. And after redoing the narration, I'm really happy with it. And then in week 8 of this term, we talked about models of instructional design. And so this was a really fun project for me. I didn't change anything about this project. Because of the length of the infographic, I used a screenshot of the top of the chart and turned it into a link. And so if you click on the picture, it will take you to the actual embedded full-sized Picto chart. So this was one of my favorite projects just because I enjoyed the challenge of demonstrating my learning through graphics. So it was very fun. And again, I have navigational buttons. So it seems like this course has come full circle with our final project of the term embedded into one of the first pages we made half a year ago in the beginning of our portfolio. So in this page, I not only demonstrate my ideas for implementing learning theories into learning with tech, but I also added a button at the very bottom of this page that will take the user to my philosophy page, which contains 2 projects from last term. that I found to be relevant. This implementing theory into practice video, I actually re-recorded the narration. I toyed with the idea of adding additional slides, but decided against it because I figured my graphics were interesting enough to hold the viewer's attention, and my finalized narration actually went a little faster, so additional slides weren't really needed. And finally, I would like to share with you how I have been recording my progress that I did similar to last term. When you click on the AHE 52X reflections, you'll find a page with a blog layout. Each blog entry includes my reflections I've posted onto our course discussion board over the last 2 terms, and also includes some of the course content materials that we were allowed to reference. So this reflection page has given me the opportunity to look back through my musings, points of frustration, and learning victories. I have also decided to keep some of my old work, which is hidden from view on the actual menu here, but I still have links to it within my blog postings. So an example of that is week 2, which was this one, where I had a particularly rough time with the assignment. So I kept the original page in my week 2 blog, just because, you know, it's nice to go back and kind of see the work I've done and see how far I've come with it. So you can also see a lot of my work in the original document was actually used throughout the course. So it just demonstrates that failure contributes to success if you can move past it and learn something from it. So that is my tour of my portfolio this term. As always, I welcome your feedback and thanks for watching.